Welcome everybody to Lucas Oil Raceway, week 13 of the DGSRacing.com Modified Tour. This week brings us to the half mile near Indianapolis, just west of the city, and I am joined tonight by Rowdy and Andrew Beach. What are your thoughts on tonight's race, guys?
I think Cliff Mullins sucks.
All right, I mean, that's true. He couldn't even get the pole here tonight. Oh, he hasn't qualified yet.
Oh, man.
I don't even know how to
I love
follow
you,
up
Cliff.
that statement.
I love you, Cliff. I know you're listening. This is my first time seeing the track, in all honesty, so, like, I know nothing about it. I didn't buy it. I'm watching your stream, so.
It's New Hampshire, but half the length.
Oh. Does it suck like New Hampshire does?
Some people say it does.
Fair enough. I'm inclined to believe their opinion.
Oh, I am getting word. Oh, never mind. All right. I thought Cliff screwed up both his qualifying laps. That's why he didn't get a time in.
I mean, I can go down there and yell at him. He's definitely in a good mood after the Xfinity race, which you won.
Oh, yeah. Coming into the broadcast off a win, I'm feeling good tonight. Because I was just talking to you guys.
Dude, you know, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, damn, I just can't get enough of Luke.
That's a wall tap.
Cliff can't get enough of the wall.
So he goes in the chat and says, well, there goes that one. I was confused, but then I realized Blake was in the race, so.
What was that, Rowdy?
Since Beach couldn't beat you for the win at Dover, he figured he'd join you for the broadcast at this race. Ain't that right, Beach?
Yeah, you know, I'm not even usually close to beating Lucas. It's really nice, normally. Like, I mean this with all love and respect when Lucas is in the booth. Because then it's a fight for second because Blake shows up. It's not a fight for third.
Speaking of Blake, he has not qualified yet. I don't think he's got time even if he tries, so. Cliff Mullins third on the board.
But it's Blake. Are we really surprised by that? I mean, Blake can beat you from the front, or he can start from the back and work his way up. When he's on his game, that is.
I don't think he even attempted.
It's not.
Well, it says he has 2 laps in the. But that's okay. I don't know.
He got some practice in, but didn't qualify.
So, 100 laps here tonight. Let's see. Lucas Oil Raceway going to bring up our grid. Mike Christopher gets the pole here tonight. 21.037. Really good qualifying time for him. And he was the one complaining the most in practice about this track. So,
black clear, let us know.
He seems to do really good whenever he complains, though.
Yeah, that's Mike's thing.
Track stuff.
He was complaining.
He's got to get all the complaining out, and then he's really good to go for the race.
Well, speaking of complaining, I don't know. That was a terrible segue. Ethan Evers, nothing against you. He's in second place, going to start on that front row tonight. Cliff Mullins.
That would have been a good segue.
yeah, I should have done that for Cliff. Jeremy Scherer going to take it home 4th for qualifying, starting that second row outside. Quinn Newton going to start 5th tonight. Josh Emerson in 6th. Caleb Reese there in 7th. Scott Elston going to start 8th. Mike Borkin at 9th. Blake Giglio, we talked about, he's got, I think, more than half the season he has won so far. He's got that locked in, so going to be looking strong here tonight. And then Daniel Llewellyn running out our field in 11th.
Lucas, who's your way too early pick? 100 laps to go. Who you picking?
I'm going to go with Cliff. He's got probably the most experience here in these cars, but Blake is always a solid choice as well. But from that back, it's going to be tough. I've heard that passing is at a premium at this track.
Well, there's a reason there's a little bar on the front of his car. He'll just use it.
What would you say, Lucas, what would you say the strategy on this track is? The high line, the low line? What's the strategy?
Well, going into it, Cliff was saying that typically modified races and officials, you just run the top because there's a lot more banking up there, and it's kind of single file. Can't do much on the bottom, but when they got into practice, I heard some drivers saying it was really tough to keep it straight on the top, so maybe that might open up opportunity for the bottom to come in. Not too sure.
I think I'm gonna take Brees really quick before we go green here.
That's a solid
Caleb
pick. He's
Brees.
running strong all season.
I'm gonna go.
Third place.
I'm gonna just out of random. I'm gonna pick Quinn Newton. He's got the 88. So I'm gonna pick him.
Yeah, Quinn with one win this season so far. The championship favorites. But we're side by side through turn one. Cliff Mullins looking to make it 3 wide. They're 3 wide down the backstretch. Ethan Evers clears into first. Mike Christopher gonna stay on the outside in second place. Cliff Mullins still trying to make that bottom lane work. A single file out.
Right in front of Shear. Trying to use that outside lane there, seeing if he can get around
Cliff
to the
sideways.
backstretch. So is Mike Chris. Cliff goes around.
Somebody got into
Caution's
the wall there early.
I think it was just for Cliff getting sideways. Yeah, I don't see anybody else sideways. So, iRacing
Yeah,
showing
I
yellow.
think it was either Evers or Mike Chris that got into the wall right there as Cliff was getting super loose and going around.
Look here. Got Cliff coming off turn 2 right here. He's loose on the top
Yeah, it
lane.
was
Like I said,
definitely Evers. Evers was the one who got into the wall early, and then Cliff spun.
Christopher loose off the corner as well. So that top lane looks like it's really unstable.
And looky here, Blake's already all the way up to what, 5th? Oh, now he's in 8th.
We had at
He's
Bristol
on
last
paper.
week. They started out short on fuel, so the setup did not have enough in it. And it looks like the same thing this week. Bunch of people come down taking fuel. But with only one set of tires, I doubt we'll see anybody take any.
Yeah, it looks like top 5 stayed out, but Mike Chris, Cliff Mullins, Quinn Newton, Blake Giglio, Caleb Brees, Daniel Llewellyn all pit. Evers is currently your race leader.
So Mike Chris gonna win the race off pit road. No surprises there. Giglio coming back down pit road. That's interesting.
Probably trying to maximize his fuel.
Get a woe down. What do you say we get a word with Blake here, see what he's thinking?
That's good. I'll pull him in for you.
Appreciate that. Blake Giglio, what's going on, man?
What going on?
Well, we didn't think you were going to show up tonight, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here you are, threatening to win this race, and you took it down pit road again right there. What was strategy you were thinking?
I didn't add enough fuel the first time.
Oh, okay.
So gonna add some fuel. Hauler arrived late, so we missed practice, and hopefully we don't crash.
That's
Feel
what
like
I
you
got
can,
for you.
feeling confident starting in the back that you can work your way up to the front?
Yeah, it's always tough, but I think we'll be all right. Long race, just gotta have a good punch.
Alrighty, man. Well, going green right here. Good luck.
Thank you.
Alright. Get back up front and ready to go green again. Ace truck's off.
Green flag.
It is. Green flag in the air. Ethan Evers with a really good start on that one. Jeremy Scherer clears up in a second. Scott Elston following back into third, and they're side by side, 4th and 5th. Josh Emerson on the bottom lane. Mike Chris will clear into 4th place. I'm looking back at these guys that all took fuel, trying to run that top lane, taking fuel that's really going to wear the setup down, that's going to make it a lot looser for them, so they're going to have to be careful now. They're going to be a lot looser than everybody in the top 5 that stayed out. It's probably going to be rough for them right here, but they can rest easy knowing they're good on fuel to the end of the race.
It's like
Just
Shear
gotta make
kind
it
of got
work.
loose off the corner on the front stretch right there. Got hold of it, cost him a little bit of time right there to Evers.
Yeah,
It
he's
looks
out.
like Brees, Giglio, Morford, and Llewellyn are falling off the pace a little bit. Are they saving, or are they running behind?
They might just not like the way that the setup feels to them right now, and they're hoping that with a little bit of heat buildup and some rubber being laid down up there on that outside group, that they can make their way up into the top 5 later on into the race.
Yeah, I know Caleb was one of the guys, he was saying he absolutely hated this track in practice. He was not a big fan of it, so it's not surprising he's kind of taking it easy right now. He probably just doesn't want to wreck it, try to get as many points as he can. Yeah, he's up in the wall a little bit there. We'll see if he can maybe get the hang of it and get back up front.
And Brees, Morford, and Llewellyn have definitely fallen off the pace from the rest of the drivers. Giglio and Mullins are hanging with the middle of the pack there, but Evers and Scherer have separated themselves a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, I think maybe the not taking fuel is working out for him, but Mike Chris is making up really good time, and it seems like he's got some speed. So, oh, Quinn Newton's in the wall in the front stretch. Cliff Mullins tags him, and those two both go around. That collects Blake Giglio.
Mullins gets into the back of Quinn Newton there. Gotta check that, and Quinn's gonna have to take a fast repair.
And that was a nightmare for all those playoff drivers.
Yeah, it kind of looked like after Quinn got loose coming off the corner right there, that Cliff tried to go to the inside and just kind of missed his braking zone to not get into the back of the 88 there. Tried to gas it up to make the gap with Blake there on his inside, and it just cost all 3 of those drivers right there.
Try to take a look at it, so gonna have to back it up to turn 3. Quinn Newton gets the wall on the exit of turn 4, and that's gonna put him all the way back to Cliff Mullins. Cliff's got nowhere to go. He tries to dive down on the bottom, and I think just washed up a little bit more than he expected. Yeah.
Yeah, Cliff was in a tough
Goodness
spot
gracious.
there. Cliff tried to split the gap between Quinn Newton and I can't see who the other driver is there, but he tried to split that gap coming off the corner and just couldn't quite get it. Washed up right under Quinn Newton.
Watch Caleb come by here. Full song.
I want to see this Blake Giglio. I know I gotta keep doing replays, but want to know how he got involved in it. Yeah, he tried to go down. Oh man.
Ooh. Nothing he could do on that one.
Well, that's gonna take Quinn Newton out. Especially, I know he had to pit before the pit lane was open. That's gonna probably cost him. I think he might have gone a lap down. Looks like he's out now. He was already saying he didn't want to do the whole race. He's feeling under the weather, and I'm sure that did not help. So, Quinn Newton, the first car out of the race. Looks like Blake Giglio and Cliff Mullins both took their fast repairs, so they're back out here.
There went my pick for the race.
Yeah, not looking good.
So right now we got Evers in first, Mike Chris in second, Emerson in third, Caleb Brees in fourth, Morkred in fifth, Llewellyn sixth, Giglio seventh, Scherer eighth, Mullins ninth, Elston in 10th, and Quinn Newton has retired from the race in 11th.
So after all that, Caleb Brees moves up to third place. Actually, it looks like fourth place, being on the outside. Hopefully he's got the hang of it now, because he's going to be starting up there in the middle of the pack. He's in a good spot to be able to maybe fight for that lead.
Pace truck is off. We're about to restart here.
I think Scherer might have taken tires on that. Be right sides.
Stand on that loud pedal.
Here we go. We're green.
Denevers with a good start again. Mike Christopher files in right behind him. Caleb Brees and Josh Emerson side by side for third place. Down the backstretch they go, still side by side. Looks like Brees has the advantage going into turn 3. Really close to the outside wall, but he's going to make it work. And off the corner, he'll clear for third place. some action back there. He's wrecking. Looks like they're all right. Cliff Mullins is able to get up to 6th so far after that incident on the last caution. Giglio also up to 5th.
Evers does not seem to be phased. He's just moving and grooving right now.
Giglio a little
bumping
sideways.
back there. Yep. Giglio and somebody got a little sideways there. Looked like Cliff Mullins maybe.
Him and Emerson were side by side. I think Mullins was right behind those two, and he was able to take advantage as well. So Giglio back to 6th again. And Mike Christopher might be running down the leader ever so slightly.
Yeah, he's keeping it close. Brees has fallen off a little bit, but Mike Chris is hanging right there with Ethan Evers. Probably looking for his moment to try to strike and take the lead. But as we saw with the last incident, you know, those turns can be vicious if you don't get it just right. Top two have separated themselves by over a full second.
These two are absolutely moving, and one of them has not taken fuel yet this race, and I think that makes him short on fuel, but Mike Chris added that extra amount he needed, so he should be good to the end. He's probably feeling good right now.
Evers, slight contact with the wall right there.
Yeah, that's scary. I mean, it's so easy. If you make wall contact in these modifieds, it's very likely you'll just climb over it. And with no catch fence on the backstretch of this track, you got to be extra careful.
Just going for a few extracurriculars. Hard into
Evers
the
into the
wall
wall again.
That's
closes
a lot of
Gifted everything
effort.
he's got.
That closes the gap even more. 0.2 of a second now between Mike Chris and Ethan Evers. Meanwhile, Caleb Brees is back over 2 seconds back of Mike Chris.
Cliff Mullins used the outside to go around Brees.
Yeah, he moves up to 3rd place now. They're side by side for 5th and 6th. So Giglio's still not able to get around. Oh, Emerson climbs the wall in the front stretch. Giglio gets around him on that.
Just like that, Giglio is in the top 5. After starting the race dead last.
And we
And
missed it.
caught up
Christopher
in that
moved up into the lead.
Might have been more contact with the wall there from Evers. Whenever we went away from him, he was still, that car was still pretty upset for him.
Get a quick
Mike
replay
Chris.
of it.
Mike Chris is pushing the lead out.
Yep, Evers got in the wall again.
Ooh. He was almost on 2 wheels on that.
But he's still in 2nd. He was able to recover it and not spin out. Brees and Giglio might have made contact right there. Blake is all the way down at that yellow line. And at this track, that first seam on the bottom, there is virtually no banking there.
Cliff Mullins is kind of on an island right now. He's like over a second back of Evers in 3rd, who's currently in 2nd place, and he's over a second ahead of Caleb Brees in 4th. How could that affect your tires where you're not having a lot of drafting help right there? I think he's pushing it a little more than he should.
Well, luckily at the modifieds, I know at a bigger track they tend to burn a little bit more, but it's not. Oh, he's really loose on entry right there. So I think, yeah, I think you're right. He might be burning the rear tires off, but sometimes in these that can help you, give you a little bit more rotation off the corner. And I don't know. We look at the lap times on the ticker, and he is even with both the leaders pretty much. Giglio fastest on track right now.
What a shocker.
And Giglio has worked his way up to 4th after starting in the back of the pack.
Wow, he was almost 3/10 faster than everybody in front of him that lap. Well, Blake Giglio on a mission. He's got through that traffic out of the dirty air.
If I'm not mistaken, Blake Giglio is the points leader right now for modifieds.
Yeah, so Blake has 8 wins this season of our 13 total races, including this one. He has a 24 bonus point advantage on pretty much everybody going into this round. There were only 2 other race winners this season, Christopher and Newton. Newton now out of the race. It's going to put him in playoff jeopardy. Christopher running first, that's going to put him in a good spot. But Giglio, I mean, he's pretty much just got to finish both races and he'll likely make the round of 4.
Yeah, Giglio coast to the final pretty much.
No, that never satisfies Blake. He's got to win at both of these races. And he is, again, almost 3/10 faster than everybody in front of him. Cliff is a little bit faster than those 2 in front, but Blake is already caught up to Cliff.
Cliff's pretty good at the modified, the last I heard.
Yeah, Cliff is definitely a seasoned modified driver. Definitely knows his way
Where
around
he
these cars.
actually picked up his first win at Bristol in these things in SRL back whenever me and Trenton first started broadcasting for SRL.
And the funny thing is, last week we were at Bristol here in the modifieds, and he led a ton of laps that race, but had an unfortunate end to his race there at the end and took him out of contention. But looking really fast tonight.
Mullins and Giglio are in a tight battle right now. Easily the best battle on track right now between Giglio and Mullins. Battle for 3rd and 4th. Mike Christopher is still holding almost an 8/10 of a second lead on Ethan Evers up in 1st.
See the gap up to the 2 leaders. I mean, it's not, they're plain view. They're right in front of these 2, so anything can happen. They're within a 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, as we saw with the battle with Mike Chris and Ethan Evers, as it looks like Giglio might have just taken over the lead there from Mullins for 3rd. But as we saw with the battle between Christopher and Evers, all it takes is hitting the wall once or twice, and that lead you have is going to shrink. Drivers like Giglio and Mullins on your tail, you cannot let up.
Yeah, Blake is absolutely flying right now. I think there's no question he's going to catch these 2 before the end of the race, and I think it's going to be sooner than the end. So they're going to have to do all they can to fight him off. We know it can be kind of difficult to pass here at this track, so it's not over for him by any means, but he's definitely going to get to him. They're going to have to do their best to hold him off. And apparently block the outside, because that's how he got around Mullins. It was a great move.
Looks like Wallen is the first car to go a lap down.
Yeah, it looks like he actually just retired from the race, I think. So I'm not sure what happened with him. Keep our eyes up front. Looks like side by side. Blake Giglio uses the outside again to get by Evers. Cliff Mullins takes
Cliff hard in the wall.
Looks like he's all right. Hopefully no suspension damage for that 37.
I can tell you, even if that car is all right, inside that car is not all right. There is a head gasket blown. I think now would be a great time to pull him in and just do a live race interview.
Oh, if you want to do that, I'm not going to stop you, but
I'm good.
we might have to throw up
I'd
a
like
viewer
for this
discretion
stream
warning.
to stay up. I'd like the stream to stay up for you.
Yeah, let's wait until another caution, if one comes out, and maybe we can pull him in and see what happened there. So right now, we'll stick with the action. Mike Chris has got a 4/10 of a second lead over Giglio, who was just moving and grooving his way up to the front. It was only a matter of time before Blake Giglio catches up with Mike Christopher. Looks like the best battle on track right now might be from 6th and 7th between Emerson and Elston. 3/10 of a second separating those two.
These two,
Blake's closing in.
they're in a heated battle for points as well. I mean, they're coming into this round even, right at the cutoff line. So this race is really pivotal in terms of the playoff race for everybody but Blake.
Yeah, even if you're not racing for a win, you're still racing to finish as high as you can, because every position matters for points.
Blake to the inside. Slide job into turn 3. I don't think that's going to work for him.
It's going to give him the outside, though.
Oh,
it's going to work down here into turn 1.
Mike Chris not able to clear him back off the turn 4, and I think that's all she wrote for the 70. Unless he can clear right here. Oh, it's close.
Blake's
Blake
going to
with
get
a
a
good
good
run.
run down the backstretch.
Yep, he clears up in the lead. Blake Giglio going to lead the first lap for himself tonight.
All right, Quinn, go ahead and come back out on track.
And Llewellyn has indeed retired from the race, and it looks like Morkrit is in the pits as well. So right now you have 8 cars that are out on track.
I'm wondering if Morkrit ran out of fuel. That feels like it's way too early for that, so... Oh, Christopher's in the wall.
That's going to allow Giglio to get out to a huge lead.
Yeah, if he didn't have anything to worry about before, he definitely doesn't now.
Looks like Mullins and Brees are in a tight battle for 4th right now. Emerson's not too far behind him either. Lots of close battles out there in the middle of the pack.
No, it's surprising to see Morkin. I mean, it looks like he might have just bowed out. And he's one of those playoff drivers fighting to get in that championship 4, so it's very surprising.
Next week is Langley before the final the following week at South Boston. So you don't have much time left. If you don't finish well here, you're gonna have to, do really well next week.
Cliff Mullins, if he can get in that championship 4, I mean, South Boston is his home track. It's going to be setting him up really good for a championship, and well, he's just got to make it there and hope he's got speed for Blake. But tonight, Blake now out to almost 2.5 seconds over second place. And by Christopher also with almost 2.5 seconds over third place, so really spread out up front. Top 3 all separated by 2 seconds. Cliff Mullins, he's pretty comfortably in 4th. Emerson and Brees, they were kind of battling out, but it looks like Emerson was able to get by the 49.
Emerson looks like he's keeping it a little close there with Mullins there, but Mullins still has the advantage. But Emerson's right there on his tail. That's the best battle on track right now between Mullins and Emerson. Brees is not too far behind, but Mullins has got Emerson breathing down his neck for 4th. Oh, and Mullins hits the wall again.
Yeah, he's really sparking it on that Using all the track. And a lot of different lines. I mean, you see Emerson, he'll enter the corner on the high side, and then he'll bring it down to below that first seam. And Cliff up there, he's kind of running the top lane, not really pulling it down below, but looks like this time he will. So, kind of multi-groove here at the short track. It's not something you typically see in a modified race. It's kind of why Lucas Oil can be fun with the right group of guys and the right car.
Amazingly though, we've only seen, what, the one caution tonight so far?
You just had to say it.
Just 2 cautions, but yeah, they were right at the start. Haven't had one since. Gone 49 laps straight without a yellow flag, but we almost had one right
wall
there.
again.
Mullins got the wall again, giving Emerson a chance to catch him.
Oh, Ethan Evers.
Evers got into the wall as well in 1 and 2 right there. Super loose on corner exit.
Yeah,
That's closed the gap.
He had 2 seconds on those guys. Now he's right in front of them.
That closed the gap between third and pretty much everybody behind him. All within 2 seconds of each other now. Meanwhile, Blake Giglio is just running away with it 3 seconds ahead of Mike Chris, who is 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack.
He is in... I mean, he is so far ahead, I don't think they can even see him going into the corners anymore.
Yeah, it's
I
going
think
to take...
we should throw a caution, make Blake start back out back, see if he can do it again.
Well, I'll tell you what. We always like to do this when he's leading with a huge lead. We're going to bring him in for an interview.
Alright. Let's see if I can grab him.
I got him up here. Blake Giglio leading the race right now. How does the car feel?
It feels tight and loose. It's kind of all over the place.
Hey, man, well, you drove up from pretty much dead last on that restart, and I mean, you were up to 3 seconds over second place and almost 9 seconds over the rest of the field. Do you think there's any way if caution comes out you'll be able to lose this lead, or are you pretty confident right now?
Yeah, I think late race restarts, anything can happen. And Mike's really good, really close to me. I mean, that lap right there, he was just, 15/100ths slower. So, I mean, Mike's definitely, I think, the second fastest car, and on the short run, he seems really competitive, so we'll see.
You got enough fuel to make it to the end of the race?
Yep, should be good on fuel, so I don't know about them, but I know we are.
Blake, you should drop all the way back to Mike Chris and build that lead again.
That'd be kind of mean.
It would be mean, but it would be funny.
Oh,
Are you good enough to do it? Are you good enough to do it? Is that the question? Is that why you won't do it?
Are you hearing this, Lucas?
I mean, Mike Chris ran a faster lap that last time, so
I mean, I'm
also
something held him up
talking.
here.
Well, look at that lap. Look at that lap. See that?
Oh, I put something on my screen. We didn't see it. That
That's
last lap
faster.
time. Oh, yeah, 10th faster. That's
So
considerable.
see, it shouldn't be an issue for you to drop right back to him.
Listen, I'll do it. Don't tempt me.
I mean,
I'm
you know,
tempting you.
if you get loose off the corner, I mean, you know, you don't-
The
you
real
have to save
question
it.
is how would Mike Chris feel about that?
I don't know.
The real question would be, could Mike Chris do anything about that?
I could give him the lead back.
I don't think he will.
Oh, Lucas.
I don't think you could give him the lead back and then get back around him and get you back to a 2-second lead.
What if I do?
I'll quit talking shit on you.
Lucas, they're tempting me. Oh,
Well, there you go. Have fun.
It ain't nothing.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Good luck,
man.
Blake.
Oh boy,
Ah,
what happened there? Caleb Brace was involved.
Oh no.
Looks like the car's okay, so maybe just got loose. Take a look.
Lucas
he's
is regretting his
Back there in the
decision.
Hornet says Ethan Evers got in the wall in front of him, but it looks like completely separate incident with Brace. He's down in 3 and 4, gets loose in the center of the corner, and
Yeah.
just a spin up to the wall. Pretty innocent spin.
Is that Cliff all the way back there with Evers? Did something happen to him?
I think so, yeah.
He must have spun as well.
I think
So
it's
how many
right
people?
here.
How many people are going to come down pit road on this caution and get fresh tires and fuel? What's the strat here?
Like Cliff, maybe the same thing happened. Or he just... Oh!
Contact.
Ooh,
Yeah, contact
checked up a little
fitness.
bit.
Evers gets in the wall. Mullins kind of just pulls over.
He might have some suspension damage.
Yeah.
Well, remember on that long run, there was that situation where Mullins was almost wall riding a little bit when he brushed the wall, which made him fall back a little bit.
So here we go. We got a lot of two-tire stops right here.
Lucas, do we go taunt Blake and say he needs to come back down pit road?
I don't think he'd do it.
I think we should pull up Mike Chris right now.
Oh, hang on.
and see what he thinks.
Blake, you won't go back down pit road.
Oh,
You won't.
I need money involved. You make a money bet, I'll go down.
Listen, I am broke.
2 paints, quick. Tell me.
Do what?
2 paint. Oh, you missed your shot.
Oh, Breeze comes back down pit road.
You gotta give me something, you know. I'm not.
I wish I could give you something, but like, you know, I don't have anything to give you.
Like we were starting 4th.
Yeah.
All right.
Two-tire
That's what
stops
we
up
want.
here.
Want to come up here and mess with me.
It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be tough to pass Mike here.
Well, bad luck,
Hey.
Blake. Hope you're right.
Thanks.
Yeah, we got Emerson out front. He did not
Absolutely
pit.
regretting his decision to let me up in the booth with him.
Breeze
Like,
comes
I'm
down
not
again.
doing this.
Emerson did not pit here. That is an interesting decision.
Yeah, maybe he thinks he'll be able to make it on fuel.
Did
but those
Scott
tires are gonna be
pit?
hurting. Scott did pit, but he took 2 tires.
Okay, I was just like, didn't see him in front, and I didn't see his pit stop because we were looking at those incidents. I was worried if maybe both of them had stayed out. That might work for Emerson, but
So, an interesting question here. Maybe Emerson did pit because where he was towards the back of the field, maybe he wasn't burning up his tires as much. And maybe his tires aren't as worn, so he didn't feel like he needed fresh tires.
I'll be honest, I think this plays right into the hands of Blake. Since Scott has 2 tires, he's going to be able to go and might be able to rip the top just a little bit. And Emerson staying out on those older tires, that's going to hurt Mike Chris a lot. So I think Blake's going to be able to stretch his lead back out to what it was.
Looks like pretty much everybody but the front row took 4 tires in some shape or form. Mike Christopher trying to get to that inside of Scott Elston. Now Blake Giglio, he moves up into 3rd. Blocks going on down the backstretch. Giglio running that outside. We've seen him doing all night. It's a good run off the corner of the outside of the 85.
Building up a little bit of a lead, but hasn't separated himself from the pack yet.
Yeah, as soon as these tires get hot, he's going to be hurting. He feels good now, but once those tires
Here
get in the heat
comes
cycle...
Giglio. Here comes Giglio.
Yeah, he's just a sit and duck at this point. Blake is flying, tires are warmed up. To the outside, really big send in that. Oh man, that was close, but he gets a good run off the corner. Emerson got loose as well in the bottom lane.
Question
He's under
is,
fire from the 70.
can anybody catch Giglio after that caution?
I mean, they still got to get around the 73 on those old tires, and Blake's been fastest all night, so it's, I think, slim chance at this point that, I mean, Blake can always make a mistake. We've seen him do it before. He's not perfect up there in the lead. Didn't get much practice in before the race, so anything can happen.
Mike Christopher seems like the biggest threat, but he's got to get around, like you said, he's got to get around that Emerson guy before he can try to make a move for Blake.
73 tagged the wall in the center of the corner. Those two make contact off the corner.
Here
The 70
comes
slides
Mike
up in the
Chris.
second. Now clean air to get back up to the 16. Maybe we'll be able to catch a sniff of the draft. see the gap right there.
Tight battle for 3rd through 5th, though. Emerson, Evers, and, well, now Mullins up there. Tight battle. That caution might be exactly what Mullins needed.
Yeah, definitely in a better spot than he was before the caution came out. But I imagine the top 5 is not ideal for him tonight. He wants to get into the championship 4. And without a win, he's going to be even with everybody pretty much 3rd on back in the points. So
Giglio has built up that lead over a second, almost a second and a half on Mike Chris. Mike Chris has a second gap on 3rd place as well.
Brees taking it down pit road. He is parking it for the night.
As it stands, that would put him 8 on the night. Worker is still in the pits. Hasn't officially retired, I don't think, but he hasn't come back at all on track yet, so looks like he's going to settle in at 9th. Brees is going to settle in at 8th. Got 7 drivers left out there fighting for points. With only 1 race to go before the championship 4. As we said, next week is Langley. Lucas, do you know who is good at Langley of these playoff drivers?
I think Cliff has always been strong there. That's one of his better tracks, I think. And you can never count Blake out. He runs the modifieds here and the officials a lot, so I'm sure he's seen a lot of the tracks. But other than that, I'm not too familiar with the track. We got a lot of contact. It turned into just... It started out as just slight bumper contact. Everybody was kind of hitting the wall going into the corner. It was really weird. So I guess they'll get straightened out after that. Nothing said over the radio.
Emerson, who was the leader on the last restart, is all the way down to 7th now.
Yeah, last car on track. Definitely did not work out for him. Didn't get the yellow he needed. And Elston, who took the 2 tires, he's now back in 5th, getting passed for it at this point.
It looks like Mullins and Elston is the best battle on track at the moment.
Yep, 2 that started on the front row, now the 2 last cars on track on the lead lap, so very unfortunate for those guys. They tried their best, tried to pull some pit strategy out. It's like Emerson taking on pit road. I think he's out of fuel.
9 laps to go. Emerson bringing it down in the pits. That could be the end of the night for him.
Yeah, with how he's using driving through pit stalls, I think he might be out of gas.
See, he does make it to his pit box. Although it's not... Okay, it is. Alright, so yeah, he's taking tires. That's going to add a little bit of time to his pit stop, but it does take a while to fuel these up. Definitely going to go a lap or 2 down.
Best battle on track right now is Mullins and Elston for 5th and 6th.
It looks like Mullins was able to get around Elston. It puts him in the top 5. Cher Evers, pretty spread out, 4th and 5th, or 3rd and 4th, I'm sorry. And then you got Michael Christopher in 2nd place, and Blake Giglio with a 2.5 seconds over him. They're just taking laps off, coming to 5 to go this time. And even with the longer lap times than we're used to, this race seemed to have flown by.
Blake Giglio and Mike Chris can just coast to the finish right now, it appears. Like, sparring a mistake from either one of those two, they're just going to coast home to 1 and 2. Evers and Scherer still got a little bit of a battle there for 3rd and 4th. And then Mullins and Elston battling for 5th and 6th. Looks like Emerson might have come back out, but he's 3 laps down.
Oh, Giglio catches the wall.
That's
That's
gonna give
exactly
Mike
the
Chris-
kind of mistake I was talking about right there.
That's going to give Mike Chris a lot of help. Now he's closed the gap to 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, there's still enough of a gap. As long as Giglio didn't hurt the chassis on that car and the suspension, he should be okay. He should be able to hold that gap. But if he hurt the car, I mean, it could allow him to make another mistake. And I don't know, we have 2 laps to go right now. Coming to the white flag this time.
I think if he makes one more mistake, I think Mike Chris is going to catch him. But
He's got to be super careful. Coming off turn 4 is where it happened last time. Looks like he's good. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Indianapolis for Raceway Park. Off turn 2 clean.
what an adventure this race has been.
Yeah, definitely. Comes to turn 4, Blake Giglio. Gonna take home the win here at Indianapolis. Mike Christopher takes it home second. Sharon Evers with a good race. And they both slowed down.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. I saw them both slow it down. I was like, what did they do?
That was... I don't know what just happened there.
That was... oh, goodness. All right. I'm going to bed. Gentlemen,
All right,
it's
thanks,
been a
Andrew.
pleasure. Lucas, love you a long time. Blake, congrats. Mike, everybody. Cliff, do better.
Always good having you here, Beach.
Thank you, buddy. It's a pleasure to be here. And like I said, at the end of the Xfinity, it's fun to be back in the booth.
Good having you, man. Have a nice sleep.
Oh, I plan to.
As Blake is doing his burnouts across the track. Is your winner at Indianapolis RP.
He is really burning that thing down. Oh! In the wall. Park it there on the front stretch. We'll get a word with our top 3 finishers. Go ahead and start with 3rd place, I think.
Jeremy Scherer.
Hey, Jeremy, it's Lucas and Rowdy in the booth. Got us? Oh, we might not be here. We will bring him back down. We'll try to get a word with him in a little bit, but we'll move on to 2nd place, Mike Christopher. Hey, Mike, it's Lucas and Rowdy in the booth. Got us?
I got you.
How goes it, Mike?
What was that?
Said, how goes it, Mike? How was your race?
That was fun. Another week of like Taurus winning me over. Like that was fun. Like if I had a quarter though for every time I finished second to Blake, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah, you led a good amount of laps tonight. You were able to get out front, but once Blake got through the field and he got up to you, it seemed like he just drove away. That caution came out, and I don't know if you were thinking maybe trying to take 2 tires, but looks like good thing you didn't, because guys that tried it fell way to the back. Got yourself a 2nd place.
Yeah, there was like too much fall off, I think, because I mean, me and Blake were running 3s and 4s, but everybody else was running like 7s. And I think a hot lap was a 9 or a 0. So I mean, I was like, it's probably worth it just to take 4. I mean, I got held up a little bit there. I couldn't work through traffic like Blake on that one restart. I don't know how we would have been on the short run against each other, but I mean, I was really happy. Like I was within a 1/10 of him like most of the day. So like obviously he's one of the best mod drivers. So when I can be within a 1/10 of a guy like that, I'm happy. So I mean, we pretty much drove away from everybody. So I was really thrilled.
Definitely. Well, that's going to put you in a good spot in terms of points. You already had the 3 bonus points for the win you got at Martinsville, and now with the 2nd place, feeling pretty confident going into next week and making that championship 4?
I think so. It would have to be something catastrophic probably to not make the final 4, but I don't know about South Boston. I mean, definitely next week at Langley's going to suck. I don't like Langley. And honestly, I'm probably not going to do very good at South Boston either, but we'll see.
What's the tricky part about Langley? What makes Langley tricky?
Well,
for you?
I haven't ran there in the mod yet, but like some about like I don't like the I think it was the street stocks we ran there. It just I don't know. It did not fit my style at all. Like tonight, this was great because you had to diamond the corners, you backed up your entry. Like it had ticked all the boxes of the driving style that I like. But I don't think South Boston and Langley's gonna do that.
Yeah, Langley definitely not on my favorite list of tracks, but I mean, I'm still excited to see it. It's going to be awesome to see it in a cutoff race. It'll definitely make it more exciting, and I'll be excited to see you take it home and maybe get that championship 4 spot next week. But you got any sponsors or shout outs for us tonight?
Shout out the league again. I think we lost the top 10 streak last week because Daniel got suspended, but we got it back this week. So I'm just gonna count it. We're just gonna say we have 10 the whole year at least.
I mean,
hopefully
he was
we keep that
technically
going
in the race.
That's true, yeah. So hopefully we keep it going. It's been fun. I can't wait till next year. There's going to be some fun stuff to announce next year, hopefully. So that's going to be fun. I keep this tour mod series going.
Sure, man. Well, congrats on that second place. We'll see you next week for Langley.
Bye.
Mike Christopher, and we'll get our winner in tonight, Blake Giglio. I'll get a word with him. Give me a second. I'm almost there. All right, Blake Giglio. It's Lucas Rowdy in the booth. Got us.
Yep.
So I guess that challenge that Beach made to you didn't phase you at all.
No, not too much.
Maybe that's why Andrew Beach dipped out before you got into the booth.
Can I say he's just scared, you know?
Ooh.
We didn't hear from you last week. I think you missed Bristol, if my memory serves me right. So definitely made a good redemption and took home the win here tonight at Lucas Oil. Mike was saying that he enjoyed how the car drove tonight. I don't know what your opinion on it was, how the racing was, but
I mean, it was fun. I think it was tough to pass. It got a little tight, so that made it not very fun. But overall, like, I mean, it was a good race. I think that if we got another late race restart, I think it would have been really interesting. But I hit the wall, almost flipped over, and then I bent my wheel. And then Mike caught up a little bit, and then he hit the wall a couple times, I think, and then we drove back away. So overall, it was a good night for us. And
Yeah, what happened there when you hit the wall there? Did you just get loose coming off the corner, or what happened?
yeah, I was talking to Mike. I was telling him how I was messing with the corner a little bit, see if you could try to figure out a way to get more middle speed and entry. And I had it, and then I just gassed up a little bit too bit, and I didn't catch the apron enough on the bottom, and I just kind of slid up and destroyed the outside wall.
Fortunately, it did not cost you the race.
If it did, it did. I mean, it was worth a shot. We'll be here in a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure, for officials. So it was good practice.
yeah.
How do you feel about Langley next week?
I don't know if the hauler's gonna make it to Langley.
Got that win now.
Yeah, we got the win, so I mean, we don't really need to show up, but we'll see how I feel Tuesday.
Yeah, I like to always stay on the positive side, but I'm not looking forward to it as well. Langley is just kind of a garbage track. But you know what? People were saying all night that this was going to be a garbage race and this track sucked, and it turned out to be a pretty good one. Seemed like everybody enjoyed it for the most part. So it's good to see you get the win tonight, Blake. Nice job on the redemption. Came from the back of the field, I think, twice tonight. So good job on that. But you got any sponsors or shout outs for us?
Yeah, shout out to broadcasting at SRL, M9 Performance Setups, Low Draggy Sports, UC Racing, Jake Swanson Shock Technology, Apex Auto Glass, everyone that's on the car and everyone that does everything. Everybody.
All right, man. Well, have a good night. Congrats on the win. We'll see you next week, maybe, and definitely for the championship.
Yep, thank you.
Got out before I could move him. Quick guy. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Got any closing words for us, Roddy?
No, it was a good race. Not a whole lot of cautions, and Blake doing Blake things, starting in the back, comes all the way up, takes the lead. Caution comes out. Our broadcast colleague Andrew Beach challenged him to drop back. and he did, and didn't phase him. Caught back up. Blake doing Blake things.
Yeah, he seemed to have a handle on this tonight, and that's been the story all season. That is his 9th win this season, and I think that was, oh man, that was his 10th start. So that's absolutely insane. He's only lost one race he's raced. And that's, I mean, he's obviously the championship favorite, but once you get in that championship 4-round, you're going to be at South Boston. Anything can happen. Everybody's even. Whoever finishes in front wins, but we got one more race in between that next week at Langley. Make sure not to miss it.
And that's gonna be an interesting race because a lot of drivers are saying they don't like that track. So it's gonna be interesting next week.
Not one everybody likes, but they're going to have to show up if they want a chance at that championship. It's going to be interesting to see how the points shake out. If you want to check out what the point situation is like before we can get it uploaded or check it out next week, make sure to head to dgsracing.com or join the Sidewinder Racing League's Discord in the description. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you, Rowdy, for helping me out tonight. Thanks to Andrew. He's in bed, but helped out too. He did a great job. I'm Lucas Hoytsma. That's going to do it for
Rowdy.
us. That's Rowdy. And yeah, we're going to sign out from Lucas Oil. We'll see everybody next week.